Welcome to this very special episode of Botch the Podcast, where we are haunted by a ghost from YouTube's past. So before we get started, I would just like to mention, contrary to this page's general theme, I typically do not enjoy when other people are trolled on the internet. This is something that is true. And while I don't condone LOL cow and snark pages, this is kind of a controversial figure, and this might be the only instance in which I'm at least a little bit okay with some of the reaction that this individual has received on the internet, just based off their own behaviors and who they have shown themselves to be as a person. This creator has a long history on YouTube that spans over the course of years, so I am not going to bore you with a retelling of everything this person has done, but I will link some relevant videos for those that would like to get caught up on his long digital lore. And the creator I'm talking about, of course, is none other than Onision. Somebody you probably haven't thought about in at least a decade. While scrolling TikTok, I had noticed a very familiar face live, and thought it was interesting that he seemed to be answering some questions about some of these things, although the answers, well, you'll see, they're not great. But the other thing I found interesting during this live is that he was not interested in talking to anybody around his own age that might actually remember some of this stuff. He really just wanted to have discussions with a younger crowd, so that he could maybe change up the narrative a little bit. And I don't think this went exactly how he was envisioning. Matter of fact, you will see that some of these people who were probably no more than like 10, 11, 12, 13, 10 years ago during the height of Onision's popularity, if you want to call it that, had a lot to say, and they had some good questions. So you will see that here. I will be interjecting occasionally, doing a little bit of fact checking, and I will try to include some relevant links and clips that may correct any misinformation that may come up. I will say now, for the sake of transparency, I did not record the entire thing. He was already on live as I got on and started watching. Not all of it was interesting. A lot of the same questions ended up getting asked again later. I just kept the parts that I thought other people may be interested to watch. So there's that. I'm going to put it in order, but there may be a few clips missing here and there. That isn't to hide anything. I just wasn't recording it, honestly. I think that covers everything, so without further ado, let's get into this live.
It's weird how much hate. Weird how much hate you guys
birds
have.
of a feather.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about because I don't like any of. How does that reference what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
are you saying that
you're not
and I
a
share
loving
hate?
person? I don't see you online spreading love.
Well, actually,
I said I used to be.
You don't sound like a real fan because my old videos
now I just saw that you were live. I clicked to join. And I hit request, and then you let me in.
Okay, first interjection. Yeah, I left some comments. I try to edit that out so it is not annoying as much as possible, but definitely a couple are going to get in there. What can I say? It was an entertaining live. And I had some questions, some valid questions, and maybe some not so valid questions.
You come in here with this I just watched a drama video
No,
mentality.
I mean, I'm 25 now, and I'm 20 whatever, and I was a fan of you, like I said, when I was a teenager, and I'm just thinking of things that I remember you doing, and then obviously I've seen a ton of videos in recent years of people exposing and talking and whatever.
Exposing.
Okay.
You mean warping. Yeah, I could make a hate video about an orange and tell you all the bad things I could dig up about oranges, and then you would think that oranges were the end of the world by the end of the video. I'm saying it's easy to fall into the, like, when I was watching some of this stuff, like I've watched a number of pieces of content, thank you, but I started to think, oh my god, this guy, he looks really bad. And then I was like, wait, okay, this is them using scary music and saying scary words. Like, I went through the same thing when I was talking to Sarah on the phone, and she uses this really intense and jaded way of looking at things because she's rejected, because she's no longer in my life. It's weird how people look at things in a very specific way based on whether or not a person has accepted them or not. And it's like, that's what's consistently weird to me, is that like Shiloh is a great example. She was praising me and hailing me and saying that she deserved all the criticism she got, and one day, and then the next day would be a totally different thing. I've had multiple people write me. I've had multiple people write me like love letters, and then I reject them right after. Yeah, well, I do this, so I mean, like, now, okay, I'm like, great, now I have the evidence because I know how people are. People like to say, oh, you rejected me, therefore you're a bad person. And so you just keep the receipts. I don't know why this is why I won't let people in my life, because I know they're just going to do that again.
When you publicly let people in your life,
reject them, they're just going to do it all over.
Come out worse than when they went in. Like Billy, Shiloh, the people that you brought into your home and abused and then let loose.
How are they abused?
I mean, I can't think of anything right now. You got me there. But I'm sure a lot of people in the chat can say like stuff about Shiloh and stuff about Billy, because like I said, I haven't been consistent on keeping up with you because I don't care. And every time we hear about you, it's just bad news.
Isn't it interesting that people who are rejected like to say that they're abused, but there's nobody who dumped me? Isn't that weird?
I suppose. I don't know.
It's like, oh yeah, I was fine with him until he rejected me. Now he's a monster.
Like Bug.
Not.
I don't know. Well,
they know.
If you're gonna laugh at it, at least hear them out and see if they do, and if they don't, then you can debunk it.
I have high anxiety about. I mean, we got 48 people waiting, so I'll look through some. I was going to say I have high anxiety about someone just jumping in and screaming obscenities, because that's just not something anyone wants to deal with. All right, we're adding a 24-year-old.
Bro doesn't know who Diddy is.
Sorry, I'm shaking. Freezing my ass off for some reason. God damn it. All right, I'm adding someone named Dawn.
True.
I need to put like more clothes on.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm
Jason
so
Nash.
I don't know who this is, but I hear people yelling at him, and I just want to know what's going on.
Oh my God, you have so much to catch up on.
I really don't know what to say to you, girl.
Because
it's not really that complicated. It's really not that complicated.
That's a nice sweater.
I'll summarize it.
For those of you who like Greg's sweater, I just wanted to let you all know that you could get that on TikTok shop. It's in the women's section, though.
All I heard was
it's a girl's sweater.
about minors or something, and the whole ID thing. I was raised not to let anyone see any personal information, so I don't believe people would just be like, "Yeah, here's my ID. There you go."
I mean, but he's what we were referencing in particular was him rating people's bodies for a YouTube channel and whatever else he was doing it for. So you kind of want them to be above the age of 18. Yeah, I understand that.
But if they say they're above the age of 18,
you want it to be appropriate for all ages and for them to be adults.
If they say they're above the age of 18 and he asks them and they say, yeah, I'm confused about how he's in the wrong.
Because I think it's just verification and,
Dawn, I'm going to let you know now you're defending the wrong person.
Wait, I'm just curious. I'm just curious because he said he asked them and...
Well, he had a forum where people would upload their pictures and he would rate them.
Oh,
and they could. It wasn't that much of a. I don't know
to be above 18.
So to give you a little bit of backstory to what they're referring to, because I remember all of this as I was not like 10 years old, as this was all happening on the internet, unlike some of these people. But Onision used to have a forum for his fans, followers, whatnot, to interact with them. Much of the demographic was younger people, teens, preteens, generally not adults. In this forum, one of the features of the forum is Onision rating people's bodies based on selfies that they sent him. Obviously, you can see where this is very problematic. Then took some of these pictures and made YouTube videos rating them. And this is what these people are referring to here.
Let's actually clarify what the forum
I
was,
never went on the
because you
forum.
didn't accurately describe it at all.
I'm not gonna say I knew.
So the forum was a place where people posted forum posts. They would talk to each other. I had run forums since I was in middle school, maybe.
There's a documentary
People
on
would talk
it.
about video games. They talk about the internet. They talk about
several.
You're defending the wrong person.
Anyway, so it sounds like none of you guys
No,
have
wait,
looked
what
at
is that? The forums?
onision.com/frames.
I only watch your YouTube videos.
It's 6 hours. It's like 6 hours of vindicating
Maybe
footage and
nobody talks
Girl, I
to
do not
you
have
confessions
time
from
to
the other
watch a
parties.
6-hour documentary.
But Onision, wouldn't you think that if you had real proof that was really like showing that you're clean, you're clear, nothing, you did never did anything wrong or illegal, why don't more people talk
haven't
about
seen
it?
it.
Why don't more people talk
How
about it?
can
Why
you
are
say
more
that?
people like
You
standing
haven't
up for
seen
you? Especially that one chick with like the blonde hair with the pink streaks. Like, why doesn't she talk about you and say like, you know what? Maybe his forum does prove that he isn't this type of person.
Because everybody who stands up for me gets crucified. I saw a reporter just say, hey, maybe we're not looking at the full picture here. And she took down her article because of the severe bullying. This was a rigged game from the beginning.
Okay,
That's why
so-
Sarah was able to extort me. Because she knew that all she'd have to do is nod and my life would be over. That's why she was able to make her demands in the agreement that said she couldn't lie about me. If you guys actually looked at anything on my side, which so many of you refuse to do because everybody hisses at each other if they do, but if you actually looked at my side, you would see that everything I said matches up, especially the timeline. I.e., 5 years later, I'm
weren't
still
you like
here.
AFK for like a while and then you just recently came back? You
I'm
do not hear what I
literally right here talking to
I
you.
said you recently
5
came
years
back.
later. I know, but what I'm saying is according to the level of evil that people describe, I should be in Supermax, according to them. They literally make me out to be Charles Manson. So if I was Charles Manson, why did I always call the cops on people? Why did I always get the upper hand? Shiloh was literally hauled away by police for threatening to frame me for her own death. So like you're talking about people who are repeatedly proven to be nut jobs, and I repeatedly reject them, and the internet thinks we should take the side of the people who repeatedly get rejected.
Bro
That's
just
what's
said,
bizarre.
can't be a nice guy. Nice guys finish last.
What? Well, yeah, that's why you literally, when this chick says, hey, I'm being beaten in my home, you say, that sucks, and you don't let her take refuge in your house.
What?
That's the lesson I learned.
Didn't you adopt her when she was a minor, or was that Billy?
It was Billy. Actually, it was both.
No, I'm not saying like it's
Shiloh
true.
is-
I didn't know.
wait.
I didn't know.
Like,
I'm going to go ahead and answer this question for Greg because he seems to be having trouble finding his words. Yes, he did do that. He did become the legal guardian of a minor so that she could live in his house.
You guys, this is what's crazy is you guys
Okay.
don't know
I'm just
any
asking
facts.
a question.
And yet you
Okay.
make
asking
these
or
creepy claims.
fiction. Did you ask Shiloh to go to a state where it was legal to have sex with her at her age in a hotel? So why was that why was that
False.
a lie?
Nope, that's also true. That is another thing that Greg did, and it is documented on the internet. You're welcome.
Like, where would that come from?
You guys are fucking horrible people. That's why. Because you say horrible things and you make up horribly disgusting, nasty crap.
Some random on the internet said that.
Yeah, no one was ever asked to go to any state for any purpose. At all. That's a disgusting lie. Like people, you guys are so gross.
And that's
you
why
make
you
me
keep coming
sick,
back online
like, in
and
general, just
posting
like,
more content and doing lives because you're so sick.
Yeah, well, it's come to the point where like, if I'm not doing this, then my mind goes to a much darker place.
Bro is the
so it's like,
Joker.
Why
you
not? Okay,
guys
why not have
keep me
everything you do
distracted
behind a
with-
paywall so that the true people who like you and want to follow you just be there? Or do you like the views of people hating on you?
Because that's not how it works. You're without constant algorithms from multiple platforms, you don't exist.
I mean, people who know who you are, bro. Like people know people. If people, the people who are gonna follow you are gonna follow you. You clearly you're not.
I appreciate the lesson on marketing from the person
Okay.
who's never done
I
anything
can still
in
have
the field.
opinions, and I'm giving you mine. That's what you brought me here.
Yeah,
Okay,
opinion from somebody who
I
doesn't
gave
know
an
what they're talking
opinion.
about.
You can
doesn't
tell
help
me why I'm wrong. You're just making it like I don't know. You're being weird about it.
Just put the fries in the bag.
You're giving someone who has a extensive background in marketing
And you're
advice
giving
when you have
deadbeat
no
father.
background in marketing.
Oh,
You're not denying it.
What does that have to do with anything?
someone said rile up the fryers, Greg.
So if you called me an alien from Mars and
That's
I
a
didn't
nice
deny
thing
it,
to
would that
say.
mean I'm an
Why don't you
alien from
just, like,
Mars?
Stay on topic.
No, that is on topic. You just said I didn't
That's why
deny
I
it,
asked
and I'm
you if
on
are you an
topic
alien
of
from-
ridiculous shivering like this. I got
Are
no
you
socks
like
and I'm wearing
outside?
Crocs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh wait, you're actually in a
I'm in a
shed?
shed.
You're actually living in the shed?
No, I think it's quite just a studio.
No, I'm not living in the
Sorry,
shed.
wait, someone said you're living in a
I'm
shed.
in a shed. All right, let's give a tour real quick, okay? Here's the shed.
Oh
There's
wow.
no living space in here.
Yeah, that
I'm not thoroughly convinced he doesn't actually live in that shed, but that might be my own personal bias speaking.
that's nice.
That's the shed. Anyway, so that's my favorite thing.
So at this point, I will note that I did stop screen recording for a few minutes. I was just chit-chatting in the comments. There wasn't really anything terribly interesting being said. The people that were up in the box were just kind of trolling him a little bit, and he was just deflecting on anything relevant he was being asked. Then I picked back up screen recording when he had let some other people in the booth, and it was getting a little bit more interesting. But, however, the beginning of this clip does get cut off because I was not paying attention.
Like, you can't just keep deflecting the fact that you're a bad person
You're saying
and you
you're
did
better
bad
than
things
millions of
and you
people.
left a bad impression on a lot of people.
You're actively doing something bad.
What am I doing? Calling you out? Holding you accountable? Educating people?
You're telling
total
a total
stranger. You're a public
You're telling
figure.
a total stranger.
You chose to
that
be in
you
the
know
spotlight.
them. Huh?
Ew.
Okay, so you joined.
I joined to tell you
someone
that you're a
better
bad
than
person
them.
and you need to take accountability for your actions. You didn't
So
do
what? I
anything
didn't do
wrong.
anything
You
wrong.
didn't do anything wrong. I bet you so many people can give you proof that you did something wrong.
Listen,
so
to
many.
me, you sound like a Karen.
I sound like a Karen.
You sound like a Karen.
So fucking what? Like,
Yeah.
stop deflecting.
Nobody wants to be a Karen. You sound like somebody who's
You
like
sound
so
like this. You sound like that.
emotional
Talk
you
about
can't
yourself.
actually
Defend yourself.
convey a
You're not
confident
even
point.
saying anything about yourself. You're not doing anything that is actually
Well,
defending
guess
you.
what? What am I supposed to defend myself against?
Do you want me to like pull up your YouTube channel right now and watch all your fucking videos and quote them back to you? Like,
No, you're saying that someone's a bad person because they had a forum where people chose what they wanted to post to that forum themselves, after confirming that they were only going to post content appropriate for all audiences and that they were adults. And then you blame me
if you're not aware of the power dynamic between an influencer and their fan base, then you really shouldn't be a content creator. Like, you have to be aware of like what you're putting on public forums. And also, it's pretty fucking obvious when you look at the photos that were sent to you.
I didn't put anything on a public forum. They did. And dude, we maybe had 100 moderators on that forum. So you're talking about like 100 people that would have had to fail for the content to be inappropriate. Like, you guys don't know
Those
shit.
people worked for you, right? Those people worked for you. Those moderators worked for you.
No, they were volunteers. And you're like, quite frankly, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, that's just frustrating, listening to someone going, even though you did literally everything possible, you're still bad. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I went above and beyond. Content appropriate for all audiences. Content appropriate for YouTube. Must be an adult. Start your own topics. Not even telling you what topics to start.
But
and
we're
somehow
the rating,
I'm the bad guy.
We're the rating your bodies,
desperate.
like, even though, like... Yeah, but you still did it. That's like kind of why people are pissed off, because they were minors.
No, that was like, the audience is like, if you look at the, like, I'm sure you see like montages of things that people can misconstrue, misrepresent, etc. But if you actually look at the original videos, you see the variety of men, fat people, etc., old people.
So you're telling me there were zero minors?
Content.
Zero minors in the videos?
That's like, just like any site. You say, hey, here's the rules. And if somebody's going to be a fraud, that's a personal choice that they made that they should be held accountable for.
Are you okay with having a public video on YouTube?
And again, it's appropriate for all audiences. It's all audiences. Literally all audiences. Like, it's supposed to be appropriate for all audiences. So you're telling me that I should feel bad for having a website that is appropriate for all audiences, where people are told that they should be adults submitting content for all audiences on this site. So nothing inappropriate. You're telling me I should feel bad for having all these checks and balances, and for years, everyone in the audience being fine with it. People overwhelmingly liking those videos. Even my ex, like one or two of my exes was in the videos doing it themselves because they too knew there was nothing wrong with them. And then a new generation comes along and they're like, you know what, let's go ahead and turn this thing that wasn't anything into something.
I just feel it was a different time and you have a different audience. Like, when I watched you, I was a minor, and watching you rate other people's bodies made me feel like, hey, maybe I should submit a photo or something. No, I did not submit anything. I'm just saying, like, you had a younger audience. That's it.
I feel like there's a really easy solution to this debate, so let's just go ahead and take a look at a couple of minutes of one of these old rating videos, and you can let me know if you think these people look above the age of 18 and Onision knows that, or if it's a little sketch. I'll let you guys make up your mind there.
XYZ, you guys started a topic called Rate Me from 1 to 10, but because there are 77 pages, I'm just gonna show you guys the 9s and 10s. And if you don't like this being a video that I make, then by all means go to the picture section of Onision.xyz and you suggest a better idea. This girl's like a 9.4, super attractive. This girl, we've seen her before, she's like a 9 too. Apparently her sister killed her for writing Onision on her seatbelt. You're welcome. Here we have a 9.1, super gorgeous girl. This girl's like an 8.8, but I felt compelled to include her. I'm not sure why. This girl's like a 9, you might be asking yourself why, and that's because she looks like a really real person, someone I think I would get along with.
That's because they look 16, man, child.
Shut up. Meanwhile, this girl's like a 9.5. Jesus. We have a 9.3 here. Oh, I turned my head sideways. She's more like a 8.9. Ah, the power of angles. I don't see too much of this girl, but from what I see, she's like a 9. Yet another person who didn't put that much of themselves in the photo, but for their age, they're a pretty solid 9. Let's hope it doesn't all go to waste when they grow up. This girl's definitely like a 9.5 easily. We have ourselves an 8.9, but again, she was so close. Of course, why not include her? Another 9. Congrats on your fantastic face. We have ourselves another solid 9. Like Lainey, I totally dig the blue hair. This girl's super cute, although she's under like 3 pounds of makeup, so maybe an 8.8. Maybe if her eyebrows were a little less crazy. Just look at them. It's like a supervillain. I think this girl's like an 8.7. Have you figured out my type yet? And don't say 12-year-old. Just don't say that. This girl's like a 9, but I'm kind of terrified of her. Not exactly sure what's going on with her eyes. Another 9. You got me with the goth emo thing. An obvious 9. Another ever so blessed 9.2. You're like an 8.6, but I kind of get the heebie-jeebies looking at this picture. Attractive, but scary. A really good-looking girl like a 9.6. I don't know, maybe she's like a 9.9. Whatever. Another pretty undeniably beautiful girl. I'm thinking she's something like a 9.4. Maybe 9.6. But not my type of 9.6, more like my type of 9.4. Here we have a 9, an 8.8. Despite the overexposure, I'll still give you a 9. A 9.1, another solid 9. Good for you. And the fact that you're wearing an Irvin shirt, so hip. This girl's like an 8.8. If only she would figure her eyebrows out. Sadness. This girl's like an 8.5, but when I saw her picture, I just had to stop and stare. Maybe she reminds me of someone.
Is it a 12-year-old? So I think you all get the point.
Okay. I just hate that I have to be blamed for other people being dishonest. That sucks ass. Like, why do I get blamed for that? That's not fair. And besides, literally, those videos were liked by tens of thousands of people. All the people that click like, what
kind of weirdos, I guess. I mean, I feel like watching it, they're me.
More like they're you.
Yeah, I was
because you said
like
you were
basically a teen, I'd say.
Okay, well, the demographics on the actual YouTube, they take account for everyone's age, and my audience was 80% adults. Like, I looked at the analytics. So, like, people want to say shit, but they don't actually have the data. They don't have all the information I do, which is extensive. Someone said they can't watch anymore because I'm annoying. Yes, facts are irritating, I know, especially when you're on the wrong side of them. Can you imagine the irony? Like, I'm gonna join a live stream to attack someone who I know is an emotional wreck, and I'm gonna tell them what a bad person they are and how superior I am to them, and really feel good about myself while doing that. It's funny, and people are like, oh, all caps, you are a bad person. Then leave. You're hanging out with a bad person right now, all of you. 1.4 thousand people are hanging out with a person that they say is bad. That makes you bad.
I don't think this counts as hanging out. It's just entertainment, you know?
You're hanging out with me. You're giving me views or whatever.
I'm giving you views.
You're making me
I only have like 2,000 followers.
No, I'm talking about... I'm sorry. Everything I say is not about you. I'm talking about the comments here. You have 1.3 thousand. I'm not really concerned. You're still here because you're not actively being horrifically toxic. The other people were being insanely toxic. And I know you guys love the word gaslighting, but it's kind of overdone. Like, can we do a new word? Because, like, if anyone gaslights, it's definitely you guys. Because you're telling me that I'm crazy for stating literal facts over and over and over again. Like, what part of appropriate for all audiences do you not understand? You're still responsible because people lied to post to your appropriate for all audiences website. What is the problem here? Like, I understand that people lie and that's their issue, but like, I didn't do anything. So like, what the hell? Why do I have to deal with the fallout of literally so many nut jobs?
If you found out that one of those videos, like there was a minor in the clip, would you take it out?
Absolutely. 100%. If there was an inappropriate image, it would be disgusted. I would be disgusted and I would want it gone forever because it's horrific. Even if it was like, you know, someone who's just like, whatever, cash. Because like, I know that there's probably videos of like a variety of, a wide variety of things. Like there's pictures of probably like, you know, oh, here's a video of Shay Carl hanging out with his family. You know, those are technically people who aren't all adults because it's his family, right? So obviously I'm not going to freak out by something that's like really casual like that. But if you see some image that looks uncomfortable, then obviously nobody wants that. That's disgusting. Like a family photo is not an issue if it's casual family photo. But if it's something inappropriate, then obviously inappropriate stuff shouldn't be there. That's common sense. But again, besides for only appropriate things, then it's just such a weird thing that's so obsessed over. What was this? 9 years ago? 9 years ago of a forum where people posted their own topics and had to follow rules that everything had to be appropriate for all audiences? Kind of silly. Not him defending family vlogger exploitation. That's not what I'm doing. I could see the parallel though. I could see what you did there.
See, and a thing that I noticed too a lot with like the people in these comments is most of them are basing their quote unquote facts off of random drama channel videos that they've seen and not the actual facts of the situation. They're going by what they've heard.
They don't hear anything I'm saying. They just regurgitate that. It's literally, it just reminds me of that tribalism, you know, that Trumpism, that Harrisism, whatever, where people they hear their leader say something and then they just repeat it over and over. And then they say, you don't take accountability because you don't agree with their complete and utter ignorance about your life. It's bizarre to me. Because it's like, listen, I get that you have this opinion, but I have facts to completely and utterly debunk your opinion. I'm not going to take accountability for something that I shouldn't take accountability for. And then someone said, always believe the victims. Literally, I am the victim of Sarah. You guys didn't believe me. You didn't support me. I had her confessing. You didn't support me whatsoever. Don't say you support victims. Sarah literally confessed to it right in front of you guys, and you still celebrated her.
Exactly. Like I followed that whole situation. I had been a fan of you during that time. Some things that happened I did not agree with. I backed away from the situation. I saw more facts come out from her saying she was lying. And was like, oh, so obviously.
Right.
And I went through and read a lot of the stuff that you had posted on your website about all of that. And was like, okay, there we go. I did not know.
Did you hear the phone call?
But the fact that you actually had the receipts and they did not.
Haunting.
Yeah.
Also, their story change. It's crazy. She started out saying that she wanted to be with me. She wanted to be with Cool Guy Kai. That nothing ever happened to her that was inappropriate. That we even rejected her well after appropriate age or whatever, like adulthood. And then later on, she's like, oh, it was actually all inappropriate. But then in the same document, she's swearing under penalty of perjury that Cool Guy Kai is the sweetest guy and that he never did anything. Like, she cannot keep her story straight. It's bizarre.
Yeah, but people...
So I just want to take a second to clarify something for people who may be confused. Cool Guy Kai is Greg's spouse who transitioned during their time on YouTube. Originally, they had their own channel called LaineyBot and BeautyBot, I believe, also at some point. However, I do want to note that whether or not you like Greg or their spouse, please use their spouse's preferred pronouns. Don't make transphobic comments. That's not welcome here. I just ask that you keep the comment section relevant and appropriate, and don't be jerks about it.
And if you look at what I was saying from day one, I was saying that she had done this to me, that I was a victim of her, and that's why I had rejected her. I had been saying that from day one. And then now I'm saying the exact same thing. It's been 5 years of continuity. If you guys want proof, it's onision.com/framed. Onision.com/framed. It's like 6 hours of video of her saying things. Okay, it's not just me going blah, blah, blah. It's them texting, them on video confessing, them on police reports confessing, multiple police reports stating I didn't do anything. You guys don't understand how locked in this is. And then someone says I'm obsessed with myself. You guys are literally the reason that I have to talk about myself this much, because you won't stop talking about me. If I can make videos about, George Bush and nuclear bombs, that'd be great. But you won't let me. You only watch videos where I talk about myself. So it's like a circular thing, man. Everybody's, yeah, he's bad. He's the only person who's actually willing to talk to us, not any of these other people that we give crap. But he is willing to talk to us about this issue. And so all we do we bombard him and say he's bad, even though he's insanely transparent and straight up is willing to face us and talk it out. It's a bizarre thing, because if someone was willing to talk to me about issues and repeatedly say things, someone said you had people chained up. That is literally
I feel like I'm going to get so much heat for anything I'm about to say, but I don't think I care at this point because this is funny to me. But yeah, I don't think people realize that the time you made those videos, I was in those videos. I was in multiple ones of those videos, and I will 100% admit that I was underage. Well, I did it.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That was nobody's. Granted, I never sent anything crazy, inappropriate, and whatnot, but that was completely on me for doing that. It's not like he forced anyone to do it. He did say multiple times, if you were ever on the website, that it was over 18 and adults and da-da-da-da-da. And that was on me for not listening. I was a kid watching his videos. I was a fan and I was excited to be in a video. But I don't know. I think people just like to throw the blame just because obviously you're the person making them. You're the person saying whatever you said. But it was a completely different time, and I think people forget that.
I mean, I feel like it was definitely a different time, but like you can't excuse a lot of different behaviors that like are totally separate from the bro stuff.
Got a little disconnected there. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna have to re-add. Sorry for disconnecting anyone. Making sure there's age in bio if I'm adding someone, so I can make sure they're an adult, because everyone's a freak. All right. Oh crap, here I go again. See, oh, I can expand it. Yes. That expands. Sorry to the people that got cut off.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Why did you want to join?
I don't... Oh, yeah, okay. So...
Agreed.
So I see you're living in a shed. You know, it kind of makes me feel a little bad. Your YouTube kind of fell off, I see.
Hello, Onision. How are you?
Hi. What's up?
I used to watch you as a child. Oh my god, this is crazy.
Okay. This is how the world works, you know?
Right.
Hi, Onion. It's really good to see you. I haven't seen you since I was 16, but I do have one question, if you don't mind me asking it.
I just want to take a second to point out here that not a singular person who has got on, who has previously watched Onision, has been like an adult while they were watching him. There's nobody getting on that's like, oh, I was 18 when I used to watch you 10 years ago. Oh, I was 20 when I used to watch you 10 years ago. Oh, I was 25 when I used to watch you 10 years ago. These people were like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. His demographic, again, was not adults.
I don't know yet.
Okay. It's not, I'm not going to come at you all sideways, but I will just say that I do have recollection of you starting your own cult, and you had a website for that. Could you elaborate? Do you have any thoughts, opinions? Do you remember that?
What was the leader of this said cult?
You made a cult with, I believe, Shiloh.
No.
It's so
No.
it's
A lot of religions are called cults.
Okay, but
well, not in this case.
Cult sounds wild. Having ideas about how we came to be. I mean, you want to talk about gaslighting? People on YouTube took me as a 17-year-old. I was 17. I had ideas about how our world came to be. And I have, since I was 17, been abused for my ideas. And my ideas were...
That was your dad, correct?
What?
Was that your dad, correct, on your Draw My Life video? that had to do with that in the views of your religion? Because
Damn, wait, he pulling out receipts I don't even know about.
But that's abstract. I don't know specifically what you mean.
So in your Draw My Life video, you mentioned your dad, and then you also,
but we're gonna say.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you mentioned your dad.
I know. Hold on. All right, let's talk about this. I feel like there's a gun here. All right, and I'm not sure who's pulling the trigger. I'm not sure if it was a story that you wrote that had to do with the main character and his father, and it was a treatment of his father, and it created this.
Okay, so this line of questioning gets a little bit confusing. I think what might be happening is this person is mixing up two different things. Apparently, at one point, Greg tried to start a cult called Seseska, and at another point later on, he wrote some really terrible fiction books that he self-published.
I think it was a book about your religion.
I remember you writing books. I remember.
Yeah. It was drawn out. If I'm not mistaking the video, do you have any recollection of that, Greg?
No. Okay, so I don't remember much about the word is Seseska. I don't remember much about it because it's not really relevant to me. But as I recall, it was this idea that human beings, the sole reason they exist is to protect the earth.
Okay.
And
all
that
right.
earth is God.
And then I do want to touch on one other thing. So Eugenia Cooney, I did a count and you made 23 videos about her. What was your reasoning behind that? In your head, what made this...
Every single time I made a video, people thanked me.
Okay.
A lot.
For was it awareness? Like in your head, did you make awareness about her eating disorder, or like what? Because I remember a couple times you mentioned in your videos that you thought you were bringing awareness to this, but my personal opinion, and of course,
I have data if you want to know the data.
Okay, so let's just take a short gander at this the skit that Onision made, and you can decide whether or not it's supportive to Eugenia or, brings awareness.
Hi, I'm Eugenia Cooney and I'm doing a cooking show. But first I'm gonna eat something on camera to prove to you guys that I do eat. Here are some cucumbers. Are you ready for me to prove you guys wrong, Freely the Banana Girl and Onision? I love cucumbers. See, I love food. So good for my tummy. So today I'm gonna cook some stir fry. We'll start out by grabbing a bit. I did it! Gotta grab the pan. By the way, check out my outfit of the day. Crypt Keeper. Now to get the bag of rice. It's heavy. It's okay, I only need a little bit. I'll just leave it down here. Okay, so I just add the main food. There we go. Okay, so now we need to add the flavor. We have salt and pepper and onion stuff. I know, I'll just sprinkle water on my fingers. Flavor. Gotta wipe off my hand now. Wouldn't want to absorb the water calories. So I just gotta turn the burner. So while it cooks, let's go ahead and read tweets from other YouTubers. Here's a tweet. You stupid anorexic bitch. Eat some food. That's what we're doing on this. Here we go. The one thing I suck harder at than life is penis. That doesn't have anything to do with me, but thanks for the confession. Seriously, get some help, Eugenia. Call 1-800-931-2237. No. How many cucumbers do I have to eat to prove to you that I don't need help?
But my personal opinion on the whole situation.
I'd like to hear the data. Honestly, you mentioned it a few times. I'd like to.
All right, what would the data involved be, Onision?
Enormous amounts of people tweeting, commenting, etc. Thank you. I used to idolize Eugenia. I was starving myself, but because of your videos, Onision, I stopped starving myself.
I think that it made it worse for Eugenia because that is what she didn't really show too much of herself.
That's nonsense.
Listen, so she recently started Twitch streaming, but I think your videos single-handedly it made her eating disorder exceedingly worse.
Do you think Shane's video?
Okay, first of all, I haven't made a video about Eugenia for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, no, I'll give you that.
Typed in Eugenia to YouTube, Eugenia Cooney to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are making videos about her, and you blame me?
I didn't say it was blame you. I was bringing up.
Yeah, you did. You said I was responsible.
I said it fueled it.
It felt like feelings.
No, fueled. Like fueled.
I just feel like you brought. Because you were really.
I don't think during that time though. Now they definitely do. You're right about that. They make tons of videos now. But back then, I don't think a lot of people did.
Okay,
and
so
I'm not trying to come to you
for everyone's problems show.
It's, of course, it was her problem initially, but it was kind of she wasn't very talked about. Like, of course, she was speculated.
She was hella talked about, dude. Every video I made about Eugenia took off because she was already more popular than me.
Oh, I totally believe that, but you were also extremely big.
Literally look at the way back.
Onion, I know.
I feel like
I was in one of your videos.
What does that have to do with anything?
I know your content.
Yeah, but you clearly don't know how big Eugenia was. Eugenia was a huge deal.
I feel like the Eugenia videos might have took off because it was all speculation and Onision, like he talked about it, you know, he was so open about it. But like, I don't know, because it was a different time. So like,
and I was saying, like these comments are saying Shane Dawson also filled.
He did too, and I loved him for the longest time.
Let's not go on to Shane Dawson real quick.
Okay, yeah, hang on. Go back. Sorry.
Sorry.
Let's blame Onision. We're focusing on blaming Onision for everyone's problems right now.
I'm not
saying anything.
We're not saying that. We're just okay. I'm gonna go back to being quiet.
Hold on. Let me speak for a moment. It's not that I'm pointing fingers. I'm asking questions, and your responses are either helping the situation or it's accepting or denying. And to a degree, I would like to ask, do you feel some sort of accountability? Do you feel like you have taken accountability?
Oh my God. So I did not give Eugenia Cooney a disorder because
I'm talking about
before I even let me finish. Because she had the disorder before I even knew she existed.
100%.
When I made videos about her, she already had the disorder. So no, I did not give her anorexia.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Did you watch Shane's documentary about when she got better for a bit?
His videos are so boring, I can't.
Yeah, the collection of everything, though, like over time, you know, with these, because to a degree, I don't know how to explain this properly.
You want me to understand that somehow Eugenia's
let's ignore her for just a moment.
Like I literally had images of how she was in that moment, and she was already being obscene.
Okay,
that's why I was making the videos, because I was saying, don't copy this person. She's a very bad influence. She's causing you guys to hurt yourselves. So don't follow this person.
Do you not think of the consequences of making those videos about Eugenia? So?
Jesus Christ.
What was that, Tiffy? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said, did you not think about the consequences of making the video about Eugenia?
Like, do you know the consequences of walking out your front door and getting in your car? Like, Do we have to obsess over every single thing?
Okay. And then
I think when it
did.
comes to people being sick, though, it's a different situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people because that's how many people messaged me thanking me. I'd like
I'm
to
not
pull it
going
up
to
on my
deny
computer right
that
now, but
because you
my
have the
internet for some
messages,
reason
so nobody can deny that. But I think is hurting one person.
A lot of comments mentioning how your daughter fell out of the window and broke her arm. How?
No.
Whoa, what?
No, that
Oh
didn't
yeah,
happen.
no. There's a police report about that, so there's no way you can deny that.
She fell. She did not break her arm. And
Did
still,
she fall out of a window?
Can one of you ask me how she is? Because nobody, not a single
Yeah, I'm curious,
YouTuber,
how is
not a
she?
single
Is she
commenter,
okay?
I haven't seen anybody ask if she was okay.
Is she okay?
That was what I was going to ask too.
Do you guys think that's messed up? That nobody's actually, not a single YouTuber who made a video about it. No one, not even Sarah. Sarah didn't even ask how she was.
I do have one other question.
Well, we're just moving on. We're not going to ask how my daughter is.
No, I want to know.
Hold on.
No, I'm asking Mr. Guy who's trying to move on.
Hold on, I'm not trying to move on.
Sounds like you are. Unless the words that are coming out of your mouth are, how's your daughter? Moving on.
It is about your daughter, but
are we asking how she is?
No,
Are we asking?
Yeah, how is your daughter, Greg?
She's good, thanks.
I'm happy to know that she's wonderful.
I'm glad you're happy. That's
Did
important.
she break a bone or like was it
No.
like dangerous? Oh,
Well, I mean, okay, so she.
because it sounded horrible, but also
breakage?
Huh?
Was it like a multiple breakage? Sorry, I'm very
I want
nosy.
to tell you guys a story. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was, to me, it was a supernatural experience. It's going to be the exact same story I told everybody else because that's how real things happen.
So I just want to quickly interject here to point out that this is the exact formula for how every narcissist tells a story. There's a lot of extraneous details that don't need to be in there. There's a lot of, this whole supernatural talk and this happened and the sound of the toy car and the roof. What Greg doesn't want you to realize or ask is that neither he nor his spouse was watching that child, and the child was injured.
You remember the reality of them. You don't have to fucking fake it. But I was in the garage, as you guys can check in my video history. I was working on my computer, and I, for some reason, didn't have my headphones on. I almost always have my headphones on, but I didn't. And it was like 6 or 7 o'clock. Sun was going down outside. Upstairs, cool guy Kai was making dinner. And I was just working late into the night because that's what I always did. I would work on videos. YouTube was my life until it was taken away by Sarah. So I was working on this stuff, editing, and I heard a toy car. And this is where it's bizarre. I heard a toy car being run along the garage outside.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a tin garage. Really? A cowboy hat right now?
Sure.
I'm lagging. Sorry.
Oh, they froze it up.
Can you all still hear me?
Yeah, can we recap on how he said supernatural?
Are you back?
Now you're back.
Times. I wish I. See.
I'm here.
Okay, wait. Okay, he's back.
Okay, continuing your story, Greg.
Okay, so sounds like my son's outside playing with a toy car on the I hope people remember this because I hear people misconstruing what happened so much. It's disgusting, and nobody cared to actually ask me what happened other than I talked about it in another live stream, which was pretty helpful. I cried a little bit, but I'm not going to cry this time. So I heard my son. I'm like, that's weird. It's sundown. He should be inside. So I go out to let him in. My Ring camera captured my reaction. I'm walking upstairs. It's a two-stair type of house. So there's in between is the door. Walk up there. I notice to my left that my son is playing video games, looking at his computer or the TV. Video games, TV. So I'm like, that's weird because I heard his voice outside. I heard a toy car on the fence. So I'm very concerned or a little weirded out. So, this is when I walk past the Ring camera, and I just stare for a second because I can't recognize what I'm even looking at. At first I thought, oh, there's some kind of like, you know, life form that I don't recognize there. I didn't really know what I was looking at. But after a couple more seconds, when I pieced it together, I realized it was my daughter laying. God damn you, putting the hat on me right now. I realized it was my daughter. So I yelped for Cool Guy Kai to call an ambulance immediately. Cool Guy Kai did. I took over the phone. My partner ran on over next to our daughter. We didn't move her. We went out of our way not to move her because we didn't know what was, what could possibly be the issue. And as I told the ambulance people what was going on, what happened, and as the ambulance was on its way, this is what everybody freaks out a bit about because they're literally morons. But as they were on their way, I thought, I'm doing nothing because I can't do anything. I can't move her or anything like that. My spouse is there comforting her. Thanks for that. And so I took my phone and I hit record and I panned from the top of where she fell down to where she was so I could show it to the doctor. So the doctor would understand exactly what the injury impact would have been circumstantially or scenario-wise. And that was just a quick pan that I did up, down. And then when I talked to the detective, I gave them the Ring footage and I gave them that. And it's funny because people say that I'm lying, but it's literally documented, you fucking moron.
It's a police report. Like you can.
It's literally documented. You should literally, oh my God. Anyway, so when we got to the hospital, they immediately put my daughter on the table, injected her with all kinds of stuff, fluids and whatnot. I think they induced a coma because, she's going to be swelling up and they don't want her moving and stuff. She was on a feeding tube for a while, but the detective interviewed my son, interviewed my spouse, and then interviewed me, all separately. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say this. Jacqueline fucking Glenn didn't ask how we were. None of these other people asked how we were. Nobody actually reached out to get any facts. All of them just thought, oh boy, I get to put Google AdSense money on a video and call him a monster. Despite the fact that because of his actions, his daughter's life was saved. Autistic kids do this. They literally do things like climb up on furniture, jump across gaps between the furniture and the window, pry open the window and push off the screen. That's what you have to deal with. We had people coming to our house and safety checking our house. Everyone cleared it. God damn it. He literally is acting like, oh yeah, this is all just part of my narrative. See, this guy's a monster. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. Because to take a tragedy with a little girl and try to make that part of your, this is a sinister human being narrative. Thanks for fucking asking how she is, you scumbag. Like literally, this is a little innocent life. But this is an important part. This TikTok thing is driving me fucking crazy. This cowboy hat.
Don't lie.
I'm like, and then, by the way,
I think you can turn GIFs off. I think there's a
anyway. So the thing that I miss, and this is the gap that's really important, is what the hell was the toy car and the deep voice? Why did I hear a tone? Because my daughter was nowhere near the garage door. So why did I hear? She was like 4 or 5 feet away. So why was? Or maybe 3 feet. She wasn't close enough to touch the garage, make that noise, nothing. So I'm like, what the actual hell was the car noise and the toy car rolling across the garage? And I told the detective this. I was like, I'm mind blown. I have no explanation. This doesn't make sense to me. I heard this noise. I went out. Turns out it was her, but I didn't hear anything but that. So I talked to my family members about it. They're like, oh, that was God. And I'm like, I don't have.
Yeah. So I know you have a very in-depth history with Rep Zion.
No, he has a history with me. I try to avoid him.
what was that boiling point for you with him? Because I used to watch the both of you, and
yep, he keeps freezing.
Sorry, you cut out on my end.
Oh, I was just asking about the Repzion situation, and was that legal? Did that ever reach a legal standing point?
He conned his audience out of $25,000 or something like that.
Because I do remember he made a video about getting a lawyer, because you mentioned you were going to sue him for defamation, ? Correct?
He said, no, recent?
I wouldn't, okay, how recent is recent for you? Because I'm talking like, I think it was maybe 2 years back.
You understand that YouTubers have every reason to be dramatic, right? Okay, so...
Since we're talking about legal stuff, I have a serious, not serious, but like honest question. I saw pictures of you when you were in court with like a bulletproof vest on. What was that? What was that?
Would you wear a bulletproof vest if you were me?
No,
Honestly,
I don't think that's a little overkill. I don't think people want to kill you, Greg.
Okay, so Christina Grimmie didn't get shot?
Yeah, but that's like a horrible thing that happened. How is that related?
How is that related?
What made you feel threatened in the courthouse?
People threatening
but was it a public jury? Were you scared of the jury? Were you scared of...
Yeah, I was about to say, was like their fans threatening you or something? Like,
yeah, there was a bunch of emos with pink and purple hair.
Hey, don't come at the hair now. Don't come at the hair now.
But there were like hella cops in there, so like they're not gonna let people shoot you.
You realize I have to walk up to the courthouse, right?
Thingy, don't you have to go through like a metal detector before you actually go inside the courthouse, or is that just in Australia?
How do you get to the courthouse?
Instead of doing a bulletproof vest, though, wouldn't hiring security...
So, you think I can just drive up to the metal detector?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's coming off wrong.
But don't you think like hiring security...
No, not like that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm done talking again.
And
you're right, guys. I should have ignored the countless threats against me and just walked up there naked chest.
I wasn't saying that. I'm not like. It's just like the way you're saying it.
You guys talk about gaslighting. This is literally gaslighting. This is literally gaslighting. You have a guy who gets threats all the time. He wears protection from those threats, and then you act like he's unreasonable.
We're just wondering why.
I am not saying that.
Yeah, I was just
unreasonable.
Asking.
Do you guys understand how dumb drama YouTubers are? Like, to even make an issue of this kind of crap? Like, oh, hey, you were threatened a lot, and you have to walk up to the courthouse where everyone's going to know exactly where you are, when you are, and you want to protect yourself from being shot in the chest repeatedly by some rando psychopath from one of the many hate sites that exist about you? Wow, Onision's so crazy.
No, I guess we don't fully understand because we don't have that type of...
No, I understand.
I've never had threats against my life.
Yeah, so I guess we don't. I didn't view it that way.
Another thing that was also brought up was that the bulletproof vest was on backwards.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
It wasn't. The people who say that are completely fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's what's been brought up.
You gotta understand, the people who are anti-Onision generally have no fucking clue what they're talking about, pretty much ever.
Okay, I have a genuine question. Because obviously there are a lot of people saying that you did a lot of terrible things, right? And I'm not here to say they're true or not. What I am curious is just on a personal level, is there anything through your whole YouTube career that you genuinely regret doing, or that you actually can say you did something wrong and take accountability for it?
Good one.
Good question.
I regret letting my scumbag viewers into my life as much as I did.
And people that gave you money, scumbag viewers.
They gave you money. They like the people who supported you.
Look at them. The bulk of them.
I was one of those. I used to be a subscriber on Patreon. So people that gave you your hard-earned money are scumbag people.
I said the bulk.
Okay.
It was. So yeah, my fucking scumbag viewers. I regret being so kind and considerate and loving towards them for so long. because they're actually horrible fucking people. Look at all the things people say about me now. A lot of them say, oh, I used to be a fan. You were never a fucking fan. You were always a piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you to do some kind of like punchline, like gotcha.
No, I mean, I think I'm a little funny, but I'm not funny. I do want to ask, are you currently still with Kai, or was that long divorced?
Our marriage is unwavering.
I do know that you guys have like a really long, windy history. So I just wanted to see.
Not really windy. I mean, maybe.
It's like from the public eye, because
like
I'm
not online, but maybe not to you personally.
Yeah, I'm not like your friend. I'm not like I don't know you personally. Like you don't know me personally. So I figured it would be, since I'm in here, just a question I had.
Be really good for your brain.
And speaking of pescatarian and whatnot, so someone brought up earlier the wetlands in the back of your property that allegedly you destroyed. What is?
Well, no one needs to worry about that. Not only did I pay for many restoration projects for the future for the county, $14,000, but I also hand built a fence to protect the wetlands, and then I planted wetlands. So I'm actually better
Didn't you also kill
than the people who criticize me, because the people who criticize me have never contributed $14,000 to the World and Wildlife, whatever the organization was, whatever the entity was, the county. They've never contributed that much money to the county, nor have they hand planted an entire wetland themselves.
And then, yeah, so there's the turtles.
Two? Or
Yeah.
maybe one. I just remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
It's like an encyclopedia of drama.
Yeah.
To be fair, you've been on the internet a long time.
I had a turtle.
Yeah.
I had a turtle. Well, what's great is you can tell that someone's being honest with you when they have direct answers and details, and they can, without fear, tell you what happened without having to look at old videos where they said things, because a liar would have to reference old things all the time just to give you a straight answer, whereas I can just tell it to you right off my memory, and it will match my previous videos. Is I had a turtle. He was always in his cage. And so I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I put him in a large plastic container and had him go outside? But the dogs are outside. So my uncle's up on the roof, and he's repairing the roof. And I'm like, okay, my uncle's there, It's got the supervision of my uncle who's repairing this roof. And the dogs are out here, but I can't leave the plastic container flipped up because the dogs could flip it over to get to the turtle and kill the turtle. So I'm like, oh, that's easy. I'll just flip the container upside down. It's a large container. And the turtle could just hang out in there on top of the grass. The basking temperature for that turtle was 95 degrees. So I was like, this turtle's going to be fine in the, 78 or 83 degree weather.
You don't know the species of turtle?
No, it's a typical pet store
So
turtle.
a red slider?
Or like a box turtle?
Maybe. Maybe. So I had that turtle hanging out there. You can look at the old videos to see what breed it was. Had him hanging out there for a couple hours. I go back, he's dead.
95 degrees is too hot for a red slider. I have 47 exotic animals.
It wasn't 95 degrees out. It was like 82 degrees out. The
tub made it
that
hotter.
Through science, the heat of the sun hit the container and rapidly heated the interior. Thus, the turtle did not survive.
And then there are a few comments here that, because I also remember this, the tax fraud allegations. What is that?
Oh yeah, the IRS.
Oh, you mean the $500,000 I had to pay them?
So was it evasion?
Like breaking the law, and you're so against breaking the law. So isn't?
No, we had disagreements about what was a deduction.
Okay, but you should know for your job what's a deduction or not. I feel like you probably.
No, I stand by it. I stand by my deductions. All my deductions were completely and utterly valid. But
Apparently
on
not
that
to the
issue, I'd like to
IRS.
just say, You should talk to the IRS sometime. They're interesting.
I don't like the
individuals.
IRS.
I have a professional do all my taxes now. A professional does all my taxes now.
So at this point in the live, Greg is getting visibly annoyed that these younger people do know some of the questions to ask. He is not seeming very thrilled about answering them. Then some of the live gets a little bit repetitive with things that he has already answered. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the end where either his internet goes out or he rage quits the live and just waits for everybody to exit.
Literally, this is my official statement. Fuck you guys. Like, if you guys don't like jokes and you're gonna be pussies, then be pussies and don't like jokes.
I just don't understand why you think it's lame to take accountability.
Yeah. Also, it's 2024.
Take accountability for what? For telling jokes? Like, that is the lamest garbage.
Have you ever worked a regular 9 to 5, Greg? Like fast food, waitressing?
Yeah, I served this country.
Well, I know you were military, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, you ever work 9 to 5?
Weren't you discharged
I served
because
overseas.
you hurt
In Korea.
something? What did you hurt, or was it your mental check, or you were discharged? You were only in for 1.5 years, Greg.
No, I wasn't in for 1.5 years. I was in for 3.5 years. You guys don't know shit. Is this embarrassing for you? You literally don't know fucking shit.
For years, Greg.
I'm not embarrassed.
Huh? You should be, because you keep saying things like, "Hey, this is what your life is," and then you literally don't actually fucking know that.
This is a clarification. You're on live clarifying, are you not?
But you just said that I served for 1.5 years, as if it was a matter of fact. How fucking stupid! How fucking stupid
work
you
in
have
the
to be
military
like,
for 3.5 years and have other regular jobs.
This is how you form a question. This is how you form a question. Hey, person who served our country, how long was your service? That's how you do it. You don't say, "Hey,
they did fix themselves
you served for this long."
Saying that they did apologize for getting that wrong.
Well, you don't tell people what they did or didn't do. They know what they did or didn't.
I didn't say what you did. I asked it in a tone. All right, let's rewind.
Have you ever worked a 9 to 5? I'm so much better than you.
I don't think I'm better than you, Greg. I'm curious if you've ever worked a 9 to 5.
Then why the fuck did you phrase it?
No, because I'm just curious.
Like,
if you ever have, I've never seen you talk about it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, let's.
Why would I talk about my current job if I like you guys just like I literally said that I worked at McDonald's and the local McDonald's got bombed
I've
with
never heard that, so
harassment.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's my life, so I definitely
someone
heard
said you made a video mocking victims of a national tragedy because of their religion. Was that 9/11 by chance?
Oh, right. Yeah. No, let me tell you about that. That was, you know how they call a disaster an act of God?
Yeah.
Texas got hit with a flood, and I was like, looks like the religion's not working for them. Something like that.
All right. They are still requesting.
It's so bizarre. I will never ever see eye to eye with people who don't want to accept jokes. Like jokes, like Family Guy level jokes. If you saw a montage of all the horrendous jokes Family Guy made, and just the idea of Family Guy ever apologizing to their viewers for offending them makes me want to puke.
I can accept harmful jokes. They just have to be funny.
Yeah.
That's so stupid because humor is subjective. So if a Karen doesn't find a hilarious joke funny, then now it's not valid.
No,
Fuck
the majority,
Karen.
not just one person.
So let's say you made a joke and against a minority group, you still think it's funny, and you still think they're all Karens for finding that offensive. Which you did make a joke about that, by the way.
I think that's up to the individual to take responsibility for. I don't like partaking in racist jokes.
Okay.
Personally, I'll make jokes about race. I don't like the idea of making outright racist jokes that like belittle.
South Park did address their offensive jokes.
Yeah, but so if they did do that, are their episodes still up? Are they still running?
I'm not explaining that you should delete
so what's the apology?
anything, because it's good to have that on the internet, Greg, but I'm just saying accountability
it would be a hollow apology.
It would be disingenuous to feel bad about the things you did to people, correct?
You're telling me to feel bad about things that aren't bad. It's not bad to have offensive humor.
Okay, so humor is, of course, as you were saying, subjective. So commenting about how fat someone is or something that they can't really like change, immediately is funny, correct? Can I get a confirmation or a denial?
You're asking for a black and white world.
Yeah, if we're gonna, in the way that you're formatting things.
I'm not gonna say every fat joke ever told is funny and every other, that's insane. No. I'm not going to say whether or not one joke is or isn't funny.
Someone just said, the thing is, sorry, I just lost the comment, but you just keep referring back to Family Guy and taking the limelight off you, which is kind of weird.
It's so you can understand how stupid your attack on humor is.
The beginning of this question gets cut off. Onision is asked if he believes he might be a narcissist.
Real?
Well,
you think that's real?
I'm asking.
You think that's real?
You claiming that you see yourself as God?
Well, you put it onto the internet, so why are we to believe that's not real?
Assume that you have a godlike complex.
So when a comedian made a joke, you think that's real?
There's always truth.
That they actually think they are.
There's always a little truth to it.
You think somebody thinks that they are the creator of all things?
From the way that you're never taking accountability, yeah, a little bit.
And you seem pretty genuine in that video.
Really?
Yeah.
I created you guys?
You have a godlike sense of personality, a godlike ego. You think you're better than anything and everyone.
No, it's just because you guys have no concept of humor and jokes and it's not your cup of tea, doesn't mean all of it's real. And
do you view one or two people, then possibly, but there's hundreds of people that do not agree with it. So at what point of the day does the majority not agreeing with the comedy?
Millions of people backed a certain HITLER. Numbers don't mean anything.
What does that even have to do with what we're talking about?
Because you mentioned numbers. You're like, well, lots of people feel this way. Lots of people are horrifying. That doesn't, just because horrifying people get together doesn't make it valid.
Well, at the end of the day, you showed textbooks, narcissism signs in 2009 once its hair cut back.
When do you get your PhD?
Are we expecting a clear up video anytime soon though, even though you think it's quote unquote lame?
What am I clearing up?
Everything that you did in the past though.
Okay, go to onision.com/framed and I clear things up rather well.
He's a textbook narcissist. He gets angry. Yeah, a lot of people have noticed that you've been getting pretty agitated and on edge during this live when us three have been asking you questions.
Like when a bunch of people accuse you of things that are completely nonsense, imagine not being angry by that.
I don't think we were accusing. Do you think that's I think we were questioning more like questioning.
We're not accusing you. We're just accusing you.
For me, I think I come at a standpoint of curiosity.
Let's call him a narcissist and accuse him of disgusting ass shit and see if he's not upset.
I've been accused.
How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? And then you say, oh, you need to apologize for making jokes about people, but we're going to call you a textbook narcissist and we're going to say a bunch of heinous, disgusting shit about you. And when you find it gross and it doesn't make you happy, we're going to gaslight you further. All of us non-PhDs are going to totally fucking diagnose you because we are the dumbest motherfucking people. None of you, people who have never gone to a PhD level school, diagnosing people is inherently fucking stupid.
You have a PhD for it?
I'm not the one diagnosing people.
You've diagnosed yourself multiple times in your old videos and stuff, but...
And I was wrong. I was wrong. You hear that? That's me taking accountability. I was wrong for diagnosing myself, which I'm pretty sure I probably would have said in the video. Like, hey guys, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I found online. I'm actually quite elaborate in a lot of the videos I make, if anyone had bothered to fucking watch them.
I watched them.
Okay, so one time, let me tell you a story real quick if you're cool. Are you cool with me telling you a story?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Okay, so Shiloh, when I tried to call the police on her, after she had threatened to frame me and make it look like I had terminated a life, when I went to call the police, she slapped the phone out of my hand. And when I tried to pick it up, she wrapped her arms around me. She was 170 pounds, 5'0", I think, maybe shorter, I don't know. And I was 170 pounds, but 5'11". So she has the center of gravity on me. She's saying that she wished, because she was like, basically, when she slapped it out of my hand, she was acting like I should respond to aggression with aggression. I refused to respond with aggression. And she was saying that she wished I would strike her. And I refused, and I said, I can't do that. And so she's wrapping her arms around me, and I'm horrifically physically constrained. And I keep saying, yo, you need to let go of me. I need to call the police. And she's not letting me. And I just thought that was something that was really funny, because it's like the amount of abuse that a cis white male can go through and have nobody care is, if I had done that, if someone had tried to call the cops and I slapped the phone out of their hand and then bear hugged them so they couldn't move. But when I talk about, I say all this because when you say, I know you're frustrated, I was frustrated then. And my response, instead of turning to rage, was starting to giggle hysterically and have like this giggle attack because I couldn't do anything else. I had no power around Shiloh. So
I hope Onision doesn't think I'm using him for views. I'm really not trying to do that. I just don't know where he went, so I'm just kind of making up time. So hopefully that's not bad. I mean, he might be reading the comments. I don't know. I mean, he can do what he wants. But, you know. You're carrying a lot. Yeah, no, I'm not. I promise you I'm not trying to use Onision for views right now. I just don't know where he went, and I think he'll be back. I mean, he might just like wait until it's like the 5 minutes are over to come back. I don't know.
When I was doing the live stream, one or two people said, "Oh, I actually agree with you." And the reason they say that is because it's the first time they've actually ever listened to me. Y'all don't watch my videos. You don't go to onision.com/framed. So the reason that you finally agree with me is because you're actually forced to hear my words live.
So as you can see, the live awkwardly kind of ends there. He then posts several TikTok videos along the same lines as the last one. And that's all she wrote. You're not getting a redemption arc with this man or accountability or really any new information. I just thought that this was an interesting blast from the past. Thought it was interesting that some of the younger people did, in fact, take him to task and seem to know quite a lot about what they were talking about. And all of these things referenced, I will make a list of videos that are relevant to the topics discussed so that you can go ahead and do your own research. If I tried to edit in everything that contradicted what Greg was saying, this video would be endlessly long. So I will let you guys go ahead and do that on your own time. The only other thing that I wanted to mention is that while I do not have a PhD and I am not diagnosing Greg with anything, I do think this live exhibits some narcissistic behavior quite obviously. There's a lot of gaslighting, there's a lot of Darvo, there's a couple of no true Scotsman fallacies thrown in there, and a little bit of Duper's delight. You may have noticed this as you were watching. I know I definitely did. And just as I end this video, I want to reiterate again, there are very, 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 very few instances on the internet where I think it is okay for people to actively shame people off the internet. And in fact, Onision might be the only incident of that where I'm okay with it. That being said, I'm obviously still not cool with the LOL cow stuff. I don't think doxing him, giving out his address when he and his spouse have children at home is acceptable or helpful. I don't condone that behavior. I don't condone any harassment against him. This video is just for entertainment purposes. But don't go over to TikTok and give this guy your money. So that is all on Onision. Maybe we will talk about him again in 27 years when he reemerges from the sewers like Pennywise. But until then, we will move on to other topics. My second part of the Santa Fe at Bay deep dive is still coming. Videos like that take a little more time and care and mindfulness and respectfulness than stuff like this. So that is on the way. Thanks for listening. And that's it.